GM. Morning, everybody.
Hello.
GM.
Yo.
GM, guys.
What's up, dude? Do you guys have any note takers you need to add? Let's see. Cool. Well, how's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend?
Just reeling from coming back to the US.
Oh, when did you get back?
Like 2 days ago. On the 4th of July.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, are you jet lagged or?
I've been a little bit, but I've just been like waking up at 4 a.m. for like the past month now. So that's like steady.
Nice. I don't think I've ever been jet lagged before in my life. Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes for people to go in. I'll send a message in the Gardener group just to remind everybody.
Hey, I'm gonna join from a second email, see if I can like improve my sound. So yeah, just let me know.
Okay, I'll let you. Oh, hey, Francisco. Say hi to you.
Hey everyone, sorry, I'm in a cafe in Torino, so I'm gonna be pretty quiet because it's a public place.
Okay, always. I'm looking at the mirror board setup. That's probably where we spend most of our time today. Not all of it. I'm going to drop a link in the Google Meet. It's to access the mirror board. So we're going to use Miro for both to select a slide presentation as well as doing some activities to learn more about the goals, what actions people would like to see for green goods. So if you go ahead and open that link, I'll share my screen for anybody who can't join. And if you're on your phone, Miro does have a mobile app, so you still can join. You just need to download that app. But as you can see here, we have so basically that's some slides with the Miro 3D slides. So gonna walk through all these elements, and then we'll be done. Looks like it. They're ready. Anybody, let me know if you have issues joining the Miro board. Cool. And we'll just give it a couple more minutes for people, and then we'll get started. Jim, Wasabi, how's it going? Welcome.
GM.
Cool. It looks like we're just about at quorum. We'll give it just another minute. Okay, actually, let me stop presenting right now. 4 people on board. So right now, how things kind of structured is to walk through green goods, and then we'll do some mirror board exercise where let me zoom in here. We can map out some of the goals, pain points, and the goals I initially was thinking to do first, but we still can. So I'd look to ask the group. But then I thought it might be better to what's it called? Go through the green goods first before then stating the goals, so you can have a clear understanding of what green goods is. So just give a thumbs up if we should explain green goods first. Yeah, or give thumbs down if we should do the goals first. Well, I guess that's negative, but I got see one thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, I'll walk through green goods, present it, then we'll get into the goals and all that jazz. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll get my camera on too. All right. Okay, cool. Let's get started. Oh, let me just let this person in the call. Cool. All right, so let's get started. So yeah, welcome everybody. Really, excited to have everybody on this kickoff call for what is our first pilot. A little bit about green goods. It's a gone through a couple iterations in kind of product development. I'd say initially it was had some ties to the onboarding app, which was like the first project the dev guild kind of synced around. Then when we got to East Denver in 2024, Marcin, I, and Wild Hair Steve worked on Camp Green, which has a lot of similarities to Green Goods, very much analogous. And then after East Denver, then kind of wanted to simplify Camp Greens into like more, because Camp Green was centered around creating campaigns, around contributions, and pretty open-ended. And still a lot of, I think, potential there. But then Green was like, let's have a more sharper focus on environmental work. So then Green Goods has been that focus. And yeah, we had our first Arbitrum grant, or what really kicked us off was an Arbitrum grant last year. I think Refine R1, can't remember the name, but Refine R or something like that. But yeah, we were able to get some support that enabled us to deploy the initial contracts, start building out the application, and do our first pilot, or like kind of first activation in Brazil. So now we're here just about a year later, and it's taking some time to get to like the stage, just due to all the things we're working on, and just kind of not having as much engineering bandwidth on Green Goods. And I really want to shout out Alex in particular, because over the past few months he's hopped on to do a few Green Goods sprints to like complete certain core functionality. He added the translations recently, so yeah, shout out to all the work, because it's really helped us to get to the stage. And now we're ready to test things out, and I think it's definitely still a very bare bones and simple application, in the sense that you do two things: you either capture work, or you approve it. And I think the simplicity allows us to have the flexibility, so that we can build the right functionality and features that you guys need for your gardens and your use cases. So yeah, this presentation is going to kind of walk through what Green Goods is, what how kind of functions. So we'll first start with like the M.D.R side of things, and then talk about kind of that cycle we're looking to develop, from garden work to then tokenizing that work, evaluating that work, and finding ways to fund it. And so let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we have the Green Goods M.D.R methodology. So basically in Green Goods, what you're mainly doing is you're selecting an action to complete. Your first captured media for that action, visual proof, different parts of the plant, etc. And then you're entering any relevant details or notes from that work, and then you're reviewing it, and then you publish it. And that's very analogous to like even social media platforms, where like if you take an image, you add some hashtags and a caption, then you review it, and then you post it. So it's very much trying to have that same type of flow for gardening work, so that it feels simple and easy to do. So yeah, that's M.D.R. And actually, yeah, I don't mind pausing. Actually, I'll go through it, and at the end, if there's any questions, feel free. But if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I'll hear the notification, and then can answer your question. So next we have what is the structure of Green Goods from I guess you could say pilot, and you could maybe call it a season or campaign, but pre-pilot, we do a couple things. So one of those first things that I'm gonna be doing this week is that first we gotta create your garden. So we have to deploy your garden, add your gardeners, and what this looks like is not in particular. I should need to update this. It will be a Google Sheet, but which you'll see at the end of the presentation. But basically, as a garden operator, you just have to fill out this Google Sheet, add your details, and then I could take that CSV, run a script that will deploy your garden, deploy your smart accounts with Privy, and then as a user, you could just log in with those emails or phone numbers, and then have your garden there and start doing what you'd like to do. So that'll be something we're doing this week as everybody puts in their gardeners, etc. And then we have the assessment attestation. So this is something that's currently done, manually and more so definitely not with an app, but this is to set a baseline for your garden, right? So if you're looking to improve a certain aspect, the idea with this assessment attestation is to capture those baseline metrics so that as you start doing the work over the next couple months or a few weeks, then you could track any changes and track any improvement. Okay, I think I heard a question. A bullish already. Okay, nice. Next up, we got the community token. So this is still an early primitive that we're still would love, honestly, all the gardeners support and kind of, figuring out how we could have this community token be implemented. But the idea with community token is that it's meant to help govern the garden and govern certain things around it. So as a garden, for example, is producing value, tokenizing that value, capturing impact, the community should have some way to get some benefit there and also have some potential governance. Still very kind of early days as to what that looks like. So very much would love any ideas there. But very much we're just looking at it pretty simple where we just use unlock and then make the community membership token. So that's all before you get started doing your garden. So that'll be, as we start the pilot, that'll be what we're doing the first couple of weeks, is getting everybody's assessments, getting the garden contract up, etc. And then it's the app. So what can you do in the app? Well, of course you can sign in. That's of course, basic functionality. And if you sign up for the first time, it's good to deploy your, I guess this isn't technically right because I will be deploying this beforehand, but also if you hadn't had an account, it would deploy your user contract, but you already have that. And then next you do work. So you open an app, you view the garden actions, and it's going to fetch the actions, and you're going to select which action you'd like to do, whether that's removing invasive species, planting native species, picking up litter, etc. And we're going to spend some time later in this call mapping out the different actions people need that they'd like to see, because I can create new actions depending on your use case. So and then you do that work. So that then creates a work attestation. And to give a little context, everything is powered by EAS on the back end. We use attestations for most things. And then as a garden operator, so you guys are all garden operators here. You guys will all be operating your gardens. You then, if even if it's just yourself doing work or others, ideally most of the time will be others' work. You then verify it. So then you log in the app and you'll see work that's been done and completed, and then you could go ahead and verify that it's correct and everything was done properly. And that's the cycle. That's what you currently can do in the app. Of course, there's more things we'd love to add in the future, such as being able to add your garden members in the app. There's a lot of features. I don't want to get too far into it because I want the features to be driven by you guys, not by us. So, but there's a ton of things that I see us potentially adding. And then here, this is a little rough. I didn't have time to edit this, and it looks like it got rid of the. So I'll just explain the post pilot. Ignore the diagrams because they're kind of off. But the idea with the post pilot is to do a couple things. One, am I able to write on this board when I'm presenting? That'll help. Okay, yeah, I can put sticky notes. So one thing to do with the post pilot is the report, right? That's so after you complete, a season of work, you want to do a report to see how that assess, to kind of gauge the improvement in biodiversity, see if things have gone well, where things still need to improve. Another thing that I want to create a flow for is around automated impact reporting. So what does that mean? That's creating the ability to where you use green goods to do certain things, and and it connects to things like Karma Gap, and other tools. So you don't have to no longer go to Karma Gap to upload certain things. That's definitely probably very much tedious that'll take some time to fully flesh out, but very bullish on that, given how Karma is, growing in adoption and use. And then there's one last one that is, okay, yeah, ooh, I almost forgot this one. The last one is tokenizing the attestations, tokenizing their impact. So this is taking your assessment, taking the work you did in between the report, bundling that into, for example, potentially a hypercert or some type of eco credit that you could then sell. So that's definitely a key part, is having that ability. I don't even test how this one tokenize. So yeah, so those are the 3 post-pilot flows after you complete that we're still actively defining. Just given because we're starting this pilot. So so yeah, so definitely would love any thoughts and support there. So let's see, how can I do this? So let's go. Cool. All right, so that's again a little bit technical architecture, not too heavy, but just to give for anybody who's interested. This is the architecture of Green Goods from the front end to the more traditional back end to then all the way to the blockchain. So here you can see how you have like the work provider and the garden provider and how they fetch the data from the EAS as well as from NVO, which is our own indexer we deployed that fetches our garden contracts and our actions. And then and then anything you're doing with Onchain is going through Privy, which Privy is then using Pimlico. So this is the smart account abstraction side of things. And then it's, doing any updates it needs to do with EAS there. And you can see most of it is EAS driven. Everything else we're just reading data from. So things like NVO, the indexer, they're just reading the data. But all the user actions are being funneled through Pimlico to EAS. And yeah, I'm only using EAS. There's nothing else is being hit from that. Oh, how do I do this? And then this is just like a updated. This is a feature version. This with plant detection. So this is showing a implementation of a plant detection API that enables detecting the image as you're uploading it to make sure it's the right plant, and then going through the same flow as before. So the only new thing here is the plant detection. But this is something that we designed and created a technical spec, but we haven't implemented because that might not be the thing that's needed right now, right? This might be nice to have later, but there could be other functionality. So we paused on fully implementing this and to focus on learning what you guys need first. All right, so this is one of my favorite infographics two of my favorite infographics, and shout out to Sophie for all the work. These are all recent. This is from the series we've been writing, the Regenerative Stack series. So let's dive into this first one. So, what's Green Goods looking to do? What's the goal here, right? Green Goods, we're looking to create a virtuous cycle of where you do environmental work, it's tokenized, it's evaluated, and then it's funded, and then you can continue to do that work, continue tokenizing, evaluate, and get funded. And I think how I kind of think about it is a few of the capitals, right? Like our responsibility to capture living, intellectual, cultural, material impact, through attestations, and then link those to assessments, actions, and reports, and then have that be able to unlock financial and social value, through funds and stuff of that nature, and the social value of doing good for the planet and doing good things. So that's the cycle, and it's really much around the assessment, the garden actions, and creating a report, taking those 3 things, tokenizing it into credits that live on either hypersource or potentially Hedera or Regen Network, then having that be evaluated using certain standards, EDF, SDG, and then having that get funded via like impact investment orgs, climate, philanthropy, foundation orgs, government funds, etc. So that's the cycle we're looking to create here. And I highlight the Allo Alliance to a degree because I know we're focusing on green goods, but a lot of these other tools, could potentially connect to green goods and provide value. So I think here it's about so give some context here. This is outlining impact reporting, MRV, MRV identity reputation, capital allocation, capital formation. This kind of is like what the regenerative stack is to a degree. Basically the same thing. That's some different language. But I think understanding how potentially green goods could connect to some of these other things, like I've already talked about potentially connecting to karma. But there's also, I forgot to mention, have been talking with a read-through about impact foundry and impact mine, and having green goods tied into the Greenpill DNFT campaign. So there's so many potential abilities for collaboration and interoperability that I think could be very advantageous. So let's see. So what do you say, Anastasia? Oh yeah. Talk to Jim. I forgot that. Talk to Jim as well. And he also has an interest in connecting Sylvie to more capital allocation tools and things like that. So Sylvie's here too. You can see Sylvie right here at the bottom left. So yes, I think we're all could benefit each other and support each other. Well, that's green goods. We're actually, so that went a lot quicker than I thought. So I'll pause first for any questions, thoughts, and then we'll head into the first exercise, which is putting your goals for this pilot. But any questions before we go to the next step? Yeah, go for it, Diego.
Hey, Afu. First of all, congrats for you and all the Dev Guild team for putting this together. It's nice, a very comprehensive overview. It's looking to, interact with many other projects, apps, and communities out there in the refi space. And yeah, as a person doing impact, I loved it. I think it's great to start building a reputation. Uh, you know, uh, a type of digital identity, right? That is can be recognized by all these folks in the alliance, which is very important. As for the aims, to use these assessments, to unlock financial and social value. That is great for, like I said, like a person doing impact, a random, maybe a kid, maybe someone that's, picking up litter or something like that. But for those that are professionals that are trying to make their farms or their gardens, that's pretty much a kind of a terminology thing. Gardens, it reminds me of that random people doing small scale stuff, which is so important. But I think as for an economic perspective of how to fund refi, I think farms, people, regenerative systems that are long term, are profitable, they can feed into a pool that can then fund the beginners, the gardeners, the ones that are not pro but that want to be someday, and so how to distinguish that, I think, maybe in my view, what is the planning. It's like when we start with the app, there's you take a picture of your actions, something like that. But identify plants. If you can, so what's your plan for the year? What's your plan for the season? month by month. I have these milestones. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then I take pictures of the work done and all.
Mm-hmm.
That over time builds a reputation too, but it's a different kind of reputation. Someone that said, "I was going to do this. That was the plan. I did it. I can even put the costs of that, even without aiming to be paid in the beginning, but just as people get information about this, oh, this is a venture. So, like for joint ventures, so that we can invest together. People can like, oh, look at this guy. He's doing this. He's uh, producing so much and all that. This now he wants to tokenize. He wants to make it a business. Needs help, for a marketplace and stuff like that. I saw you mentioned RevNet from Juicebox over there. Like if we can sell products and direct channel some of these funds to a RevNet, it will be increasing value in the token. So just like maybe to be granting gardeners is a good approach, but maybe you could in the future sometime also focus on more professional farms to generate revenue, so because it's always grants and yeah, I'm very thankful to the grants, but we are getting more and more strong as a network with folks like you, with the dev guild, with some quality, farmers, and maybe grants won't be able to hold this together. So like
Mm-hmm.
having some pilots would be interesting. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, love the feedback and the thoughts, and definitely want to make sure you capture that. So when we step into this exercise, definitely write that down in the goals so we could have that recorded. I think so. Yeah, that's always been something. Even myself, the calling things gardens, because this farm like gardens definitely evokes more smaller, more like home garden type of thing. I think we'd explored using a terminology like green spaces potentially, because the idea with green goods is to I think right now we're trying to understand where it lies. I think to a degree, is it can it serve both home gardens and farms, or or it needs to like focus more on farms? I would farms to me, I would personally lean towards farms, but that's why it's great to have you giving the feedback, because I want you to to drive where this is going. So yeah, I think all that feedback's great, and then we could factor it in going forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I will put in the goals, and yeah, and especially Wasabi that is here, and it's giving that too. So
Yeah.
we got some good actors over there.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, that was great feedback. Okay, I think we should just get into this, because Diogo's feedback was we just put that as sticky card. So let's go ahead and step into the next part of the call, which is going to be doing a little exercise where we're gonna outline the impact you want to achieve. Some of the things, like if you have also ideas and thoughts, feel free to put those down too. Don't want to, I know Diogo has some of those, so also feel free to do that in this section. So how we're gonna do that is I'm going to put a timer on. We're gonna spend 7 minutes putting our goals. We'll keep it sunshine, you need sun for growth. So yeah, spend 7 minutes, this next 7 minutes outlining your goals, ideas you have, and then we'll talk about them, see where we have commonalities, etc., then go into the next phase. I'm gonna drop it into the mirror board again for anybody who don't have it. Anybody having trouble joining the board? Very important to get down to the spot first. Hey, Bobby, are you on the board? Cool. Everybody done? Cool. Yeah, we don't typically we could do a voting, but I think it's this is everybody's own action, so definitely no need to vote here. But what I would like to do is go through these and have everybody who put something down, talk through what you wrote down, kind of even give a little background on your garden, a green space farm that you're looking to use green goods in. So yeah, who'd like to first kick things off? Good shot. No offense here. Well, given Diogo already talked, I think I'll pick on Anastasia if you're able to talk.
What you're saying?
So, look, can you kind of talk about some of the things you wrote down here, and talk a little bit about your garden?
Ah, well, yeah, I was thinking that using the green goods would give me an easy way to document my efforts on the land. So, for example, I want to show how soil improvement and plant growth goes. It's a new land. I still didn't planted anything. So my goal is actually to start planting and document the process. Composting efforts as well. I don't think I wrote it down, but it comes to the soil improvement because I'm gonna add it to my all my gardening projects. And yeah, in terms of like let's say technical goals, I think yeah, I want it to be easy and consistent and something that I can use to just the same way as to take selfie, kind of. That's my first thoughts. And I'm kind of sleepy at this hour to think a lot.
Yeah, I understand. I appreciate you showing up. Yeah, okay, those are all good ones. All good. Thanks. Wasabi. Love for you to, you can.
EM.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what's the question? What's the prompt?
So the prompt is just talk about some of the goals you wrote down here. Give a little background on your garden. I think most of us here know about Coconut Network, and so you don't have to like explain in full detail. But let's talk more about the goals, how it relates to green goods and coconut and green goods.
Based on the presentation, I see green goods as a tool for many use cases for us, like provenance and data fidelity. You can say is the main uh, north star in at across the network because that's how we unlock high quality everything. No, we can play with the outcomes from there. So yeah, that's why that's one of the goals that we have.
Mhm.
That is a new oil. So based on how you guys are going to integrate the whole allo stack, that's amazing. I feel like yeah, you guys are into something. So yeah, then after some testing, the idea is for us to integrate the tool as a component of our framework. So then anyone else using like any community, then is like is able to um, feed the solutions provided by Green Goods in the workflow to deploy these assets. That's the idea later. So as you can say, is the goal number 2 that we have is to use it ourselves and then write the whole documentation approach for others to also leverage the tool by using the framework in parallel. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And then adopt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's push because this is not public yet, but we are integrating two new verticals across the network. I feel like Green Goods is gonna come in handy in this new, we can say, improved approach. But yeah, so that's the goal for 2025 in Coconut is to have 12 locations under management. So before we used to call them farms, but now we call them locations because of the new verticals coming into the system. So yeah, that's the end outcome that we're pursuing.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll have to edit that out the recording.
Okay, no worry. Like, it's going to become public information within a few weeks. But
Okay.
I'm happy to give you guys an alpha. But yeah, it has the power to tie into every major narrative that is present. It's going to arise in the future. So yeah, the idea is to future proof the network. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. I'm super excited to integrate with Coconut. All right, let's go to Diogo. Looks like, what do you got?
Yeah, I like how this feedbacks. I gotta tell you, I'm using the impact miner now to reward the apprentices, to reward the beekeepers, native beekeepers. It was missions and bounties that I created. I see that there is no possibility of creating bounties on green goods. So it's like talking about your garden. And yeah. So I was wondering, how do you think about this? Do you guys I'll write that down. I'll write that down there.
Oh,
Do
that's
you guys
that's
consider
that's a great
missions,
question.
quests?
Yeah. So, because when you mentioned impact miner, so talking to Retrue, the idea is that we would be creating bounties, ideally in an automated way, or a way where you could create bounties on Impact Miner that is around using green goods, and then have a way that we could report things to Impact Miner. So the idea would be that you wouldn't need to, you could just continue creating bounties there, and we just integrate with it and with their bounty system. And then also the DNFT collection, we want to make that visible in or that's one of the feature ideas we have. So if that's something that you guys thought makes sense, but the idea would be in your profile page, you'd have your Greenpill DNFT, and be given that we're doing stuff, you'll do stuff in green goods, that'll then report on impact miner foundry in the Atlantis system. That'll update, your NFT. So, and you'll be able to visualize that within green goods. So that's one of a potential feature idea we could implement if you guys think it makes sense for you and your gardeners, and would make it a more attractive application, and to use where you feel like you're driving something forward and it's not just a doing task. So
It's hard to say right now how it's going to turn out, but good to know that you guys are open to it. It's, like at AgroFirst now, we have folks that are learning, that are gardeners, but there are also folks that are farmers and want to go to some more solid investments and are willing to produce financial returns. And I haven't yet found a tool to onboard these folks.
Okay.
I mean, because it's not just a matter of an app. There are many platforms out there that can create tokens and all, but it's more like have a network that recognize them, and they can show their quality, their reputation, and then in the future people can actually go and invest together, 1 hectare together, let's invest and people will say, okay, I saw your track in the last year, and so the Greenpill network is like this network, so
Mhm.
I really find it's important that we create methodologies to recognize folks, so we don't have to trust what Joe was saying about this guy, invest in this farm, this guy, because he's good, he's doing it. But no, he has been updating, he has been showing work, planning, hosting people, and all of that. And then there are the tools needed that are the financial tools. So I sell the product, and what happens, and so just I know it's hard. You guys are building a great app right now with this focus, but keep in mind that for you guys are the network, and we all over here, Anastasia, Sabi, we are this network. That we will get mature at some point, and we need to have engagement with many agro ecosystems in the world, and let's do it someday somehow. Sorry to ramble.
No, you're good. You're good. I think, yeah, it's because I think it's a tall task, right? So that's what, and we're in the early stages. So how I really view tackling this is it's like it's not green goods doing it all. It's green goods connecting connecting the hypersource. It's green goods connecting to coconut network and tools that they have and they're building. And so I think that's kind of the way and that's why, like, for example, the Allo Alliance one is a nice one because you can see the whole stack of potential tools that could be put together in certain ways. Of course, that's just looking at it at that certain perspective, but there's a lot more ways we could look at it. I know with Sylvie, like I think, well, this is my motto for 2025, but I set it out at the beginning, which is connect and coordinate capital. So like that's my goal for, like, I guess that should be my goal for life, but it's particularly in 2025, that's like what I'm really focused on. And to me, that's so I really hear you. And I think this gets, I think we get to that place with interoperability, collaboration, and calls like we're doing now, like, because you're giving me the insight that I might have heard, but now that if I hear you being consistently talking about it, I'm now gonna like be more aware and try to do something about it. So let's see. And then, okay, which one? What other ones you have? Yeah, mission. Yep, you talked about the bounties, financial cost. Nice.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, I'm doing this, I don't know, taking picture of this plant or planting something, it has a cost. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
not paying anymore, but I'm not working, making money. I'm working over there. So I think it's important to recognize this, because if he's planting one little tree, that's okay. That's a little quick, done. But if he's planting 100, and there's a cost. If he has to hire someone, there's a cost. And
Mhm.
so I think this is good information to consider.
Yeah. Yes.
Estimate, don't need to be,
Mhm.
but an estimate is good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's important to put a value to your work. So, um, yeah, it's just not, hey, I did this, like, that's okay. And then, okay, so I think we got a lot of good ones. We got a couple more sections to go through, so I'll move us along. But I actually want to add a couple here based on, I looked at the survey results. So this is something, I think task management was a pretty a common theme, like being able to task and user management. That was a pretty big theme. So if we want to double tap on that. Of course, I'll put in the AI functionality because we already kind of have a spec, but just technically, which is client AI detection. So, and this definitely fits certain actions. So it's definitely where maybe you're identifying invasive species, etc. That's another one. But yeah, I'll just put those two just because those were, I'm not trying to jump in it too much. All right, on to the next section. Okay, great. I never looked at love that you over went ahead, save some time. So this next section is to kind of shift into well, kind of heard all, some of these already, from Diogo. So this is great. So probably we could speed run through some of these because some of these we've already talked about. But the idea here is to put your challenges and frustrations, experience in, gardening or tracking your work. And when we say gardening, that's, farming as well and doing other, environmental work in a green space. So, hey, I'll just put a timer for go. We'll do 4 minutes for this one. I'll keep something. Okay. Let's go back and do that. And this one we'll do the calm flow. Yeah, so this for the next 4 minutes is putting down any challenges you identify. Okay, cool. You got any last? Looks like there wasn't too much added. That's good. We could just go through some of these. Anastasia, I know you don't. It's fine if you don't want to talk. I could just say your pain points, but which one are they?
I mentioned that it takes a lot of time to report the impact and some platforms and also tech challenges. If you're also giving it to people who are not familiar with Web3, like somebody mentioned also above,
Yeah.
not really good UX. And also review processes. I faced a lot of reviews where my proofs were not accepted and I couldn't find the reason why, or it took a long time if it was community verification or things like this. So basically these two that I found.
Yeah, make total sense. Let's see. There's this lack of comprehensive assessment and recognition. I think Diogo, this is you, right?
Yeah, it's just reminding of that.
Yep.
It's got to be connected. We should find a way to, grade everybody within the same rule. Have folks knowing aware that they are part of something common. Each their own. It's, yeah.
Yeah. I think with like Greenpill and just other tools, but yeah, I can see us, finding ways to have that recognition and stuff. Education and training, disconnected from global peers. Yeah, just said that. We got up here is this I think if it's arrows, it's wasabi, I just assume. It's you, wasabi.
Yeah, that was me.
All right. Any you want to walk through this, or I could read them out? Let me know.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple yet crucial pain point, you can say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've shared that in the past with you. There are some promising solutions in the space, but they are not that friendly with, you know, even people with computer science degree have had problems using some apps in the ecosystem. That's crazy. So yeah.
Yeah. The bridge. Okay.
Yeah, because you already thinking about an ecosystem angle here. So yeah, I see this as a promising um, approach. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. That one. Well, yeah, if you guys can really nail the user experience at a level that all of the stakeholders feel happy using the app, then yay, it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Yeah, this is a huge problem. I feel like the push for the common approach is great. It's going to be able, we like everyone in the ecosystem is going to be able to do apples to apples comparison. Because not, right now we are comparing, you know, apple to grapes. So yeah, that's why I love that approach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Cool. Great, guys. Some great stuff. It's all awesome. All right, so let's see where we're at for time. Okay, we're just over the hour. I think we'll probably be able to finish in like 20 minutes. So about 30 minutes and was officially set. And nice, we already got the actions people want to track. So go ahead, I'll put another 4 minutes for this section. This time we'll go with a smooth groove. But this section is about, the actions, because idea here, because with green goods, we're going to take these actions you define here and integrate them into the app. Some might take some time because the app is currently very biodiversity, planting, and identifying species focus. But knowing what actions you guys need will help us put that on the roadmap. So let's go ahead and create some actions. All right. Looks like we got a couple more added and some polishing up. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'll start with you again, Wasabi, to kick things off. Then go over to the other. So,
Pretty much. You know, like we want to be able to start using the tool as soon as we start doing the land survey. So you know, the idea is to track the whole workflow and development of the garden. So yeah, that's why that's step one. Step two is to track the regeneration process. So let's say that we do, you know, we receive a new location and we do an ecological census. Then we identify, I don't know, we need to regenerate 500 trees. I don't know, whatever it may be. Like we want to be able to also use the tool. Like that's one of the actions that we are aiming to do. Like, you know, use the tool across the whole workflow of surveying the land, then we do an assessment, and then we track the whole, like, turning the everything green with the tool. And then do a report of everything. Like that would be the perfect workflow for us. And of course that we can also, you know, have custom fields. Now let me add that.
Mhm.
Fields. Oh no, sorry, this is the wrong section.
Oh, no, no,
In
okay.
the right one.
Okay. I'm curious. I'm curious here on like some. We don't have to get into this now because this is more later. And also plan, would love to do one-on-ones with everybody here. When you guys during a time that's optimal for you, Anastasia, where not half asleep, and so we definitely need to do those one-on-one calls because I also want to understand the data sources you guys want to pull in from. Like, what are some trusted sources that you could build like a quality assessment from that are both like remote data, data that's like we can just access offline, and then also like what you have maybe on the ground from maybe IoT sensors or any type of yes, hardware you might have that's doing anything. So definitely, yeah, and I feel like this maps well to baseline assessment. Yep, do track the work, report. Is this Green Goods doing it to fit your coconuts needs, in an optimal manner. And not all this is going to be done on the app. Green Goods is a platform. Like some of the stuff is going to be done, like even to start manually. But it's about I think defining the process and the methodology around it. Then eventually it could turn into user features and things of that nature. Because the thing with features, if you don't have a lot of people using it, or like it, you don't want to. It's a balancing of like, okay, how many people are going to be using this? Okay, we're just starting with this many people, so might as well just do it manually, or or automate certain things. All right, next up, let's go Diogo. Let's want to talk about some of your actions.
Yeah, I basically mentioned the goals, the long-term goals. Yeah, broken down into seasonal goals that are broken down into monthly goals.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, it's not a disconnected activity. It's part of something. Even in the garden, you do something. You make compost, but why you make compost? Because in the planting season, I want to use it. So when you go plant, you say, I'm able to use the compost I made over there back then, and it goes in circles. So I find it important to at least incentivize people to try to do that. I know it's not easy to do it when we're starting, but it's a sign of improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally agree with that. What's your other ones? Let's see. So you only one Diogo?
No, I had just done one of this.
Okay, nice. So this is all Anastasia. All right. Marcy, did you add any here?
No. Oh,
Okay. Well, Anastasia, you want me to read through these, or you want to read through them?
No, so basically, I mentioned what I would like to document, at least in the beginning. And yeah, talking about the tea cleanup, would be nice to have the feature of documenting the cleanup as well. Like now at our land, we also need to do certain kind of cleanup. And yeah, I would like to highly promote this particular function on green goods.
Nice. Let's see, watering and its methods, indoor and outdoor seedling, transplanting seedlings.
And basically, like Wasabi said, it's the entire workflow from planning to harvesting. But yeah, just not to mention all the steps.
Marcin, and go ahead.
yeah. Hey, so when I see all this, like for instance, like wanting to track rainwater harvesting or vertical gardening maintenance, the assumption is that, or I forgot who was speaking earlier. It was either Alejandro or Diogo. That this is like, of course, the work is valuable. Of course, the work is necessary. Like if it's going to get done, but who's buying this? Like, who's paying for this? Who wants this information currently? That's the kind of stuff that I think about. And I'm wondering if there's any experience among this group, because there's also been a little bit of mention of like larger scale work. So I'm wondering if there's any experience with this group, like with the existing quote legacy funding opportunities, through I don't know, voluntary carbon markets or like grants or something like that. Because those would be the buyers, I think, in the end. And of course, there's also like the Web3 stuff, but the Web3 stuff is comparatively easy than like tying into existing sort of legacy stuff.
Yeah, I think that goes back here. Yeah,
My thought.
yeah, I think, yeah, and we could discuss this for a bit. Then that's the, kind of brings it back to this graphic here, right? This first half is the blockchain side, right? But the second half is, traditional markets. How do we, apply this to frameworks that traditional markets and funders are looking at? So yeah, like, I know that's for Diogo and Wasabi. Would you guys have any thoughts there? Any already insights to potential traditional funders in your locale or or globally? Yeah, Wasabi.
I feel like this question is a very case by case basis. So for example, in our business model, we haven't factored in, let's say, impact monetization, impact organization. We haven't factored in many revenue streams that we can build out of the same work, let's say. So even carbon credits is not part of our business model currently. It's something that, yeah, we're working towards it. It's part of the whole strategy, but it's not the strategy itself. So that's why I said it's a case by case basis. Um, having high fidelity data, having many data points coming off your project is very useful. From my point of view, and this is like my personal opinion. Data is the new oil. So having high fidelity data allows you to have more options down the line. Like, let's put it that way.
Yes. And Diogo, you have any thoughts here?
Well, I'm a bit skeptic about, you know, having funding sources from, carbon credits for regeneration. They are good for forests, but not for degraded land, and
Mhm.
especially small size. Um, I I think education can be a source of revenue if we can show that our certificates are accepted worldwide, and you have open doors to go study,
Mm.
do an internship in Dominican Republic, or anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
These kind of things value a lot. You training, education, yeah, and product sale, but not short-term products, but long-term. The In agroforestry, we say that the wood is our saving account. So anyone regenerating, making regenerative agriculture, planting actually food forests, they know that the beginning is hard, and they are investing, and they get returns, but there's a lot of education, but over time there is more returns and less needs to dedicate work to plant again. And so uh, this long-term view, you know sometimes it's not considered in this funding uh, possibilities. So market education can also generate funds.
Hmm. And that, yeah, that like certification, reputation, like you mentioned, already throughout, and yeah, you get it, then be able to, yeah, go places, apply your
Yeah,
skills, get paid for provide. Yeah, I think that's very powerful.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm only here because I had a chance to study the U.S. when I
Hmm.
was a teenager. I want my kids to also go study abroad.
Yeah,
That need to be study high school, but study agriculture, maybe study whatever other, but as a network, and we can offer that.
yeah, love that. All right, that's, yeah, great question, Marcin. And I think, yeah, that's some great responses. All right, let's move to the and wanted to welcome Crow to the call, and Natsel too. Welcome for joining. Happy to have you guys here. Um, yeah, and the call's recorded, so you'll be able to watch it back, and a lot of great insights. Um, and I think you guys probably got the Miro-board links because they're pinned, so yeah, hop on if you want. All right, this next section is around action items. So yeah, what are the steps, support needed? So it looks like every has everybody already got down their thoughts? Or like we could do a couple minutes just for polishing. Let's do a couple minutes. Um, just for people to add any updates. So go ahead, this section, yeah. If you need to polish anything, I'll just do 2 minutes. Go for it. right. Cool. We got a full board here. So we definitely want to dive in and see what we got. Marcin, I see you were writing some stuff, so I'd love to kick it off with you. Yeah.
Yeah. That I just wrote one card, and it seems like since just given the answer to the question I had before, it being that it's on a case by case basis, the thing that we need to do is provide them with awesome reports, and so understanding the standards for each of those reports, so that we're talking apples to apples, like was said earlier. Yeah.
Yep, I agree, 100%. Cool. Let's next see. All right, actually, I can turn this feature on. Let me. This will help me. I forgot to do it. Okay, Anastasia. Let's go to you. I can do this. There we go. So, okay, Anastasia, you got a few here. Would you like to stress some of them?
Yeah, well, I put a lot of UX stuff here.
Okay, yeah, love it.
Wait, where is it? So let's start with the first one. Clearly defined steps of the process in the UX. What I saw this trick at General Magico, and they were explaining why is it important. So basically, when you come to the as a user, you come to the submission page. It's kind of shown on the top what are the next steps coming. So the user says, okay, after this coming the verification, and then this and that. So they need to clearly see if it's a 5-step process or 3-step process, for example. Of course, there's supposed to be comprehensive guides, and the best if it's written for people who don't know anything about this tech. Chatbot support in the first submission would be nice to have that kind of hints. Okay, like what is this? What is this button for? La la la. What is it doing? And frequently asked questions as well, going to the same group. And progress tracker, yeah. So the gardeners can create their roadmap and set the milestones, and then they'll see kind of visualization of their progress. That's what I'm thinking about for now. And yeah, integration in the later editions, giving it some social features, maybe forum or I don't know, some place to discuss stuff, and education integration as well, letting people know what's the proper way to do this activity. That's all I think.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, I think some of these potentially we could do some infographics for some of the guides. FAQ, progress tracker, yep. Chatbot support. For the chatbot, is that when you say the chatbot, is that so in the app they can report stuff or like what do you mean by
They can ask questions, like maybe the submission glitched, so they have direct support in the chatbot. But I don't know, it's gonna be the person or AI or
that?
something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yep, got it. All right, there's some good ones. And you also have, okay, you said all these ones. Yeah, hints. Yeah, I think, a lot of these are low-hanging fruit. I mean, definitely. Some of them we have in the app, currently, but others we definitely need to add. Wasabi. You're next.
Yeah, I'm a simple man.
Yep.
My ask, is a knowledge hub on that app. I guess that's part of the basics. Then be willing to do events together. So so they can introduce the solution to the community.
Yeah, the events because of this. Yeah, go to sleep. Oh, yeah, Anastasia. Yeah, great having you. Yeah, definitely. I'll send the recording. Or I'll share the recording with all your guys' email, so you could see the last part. Yeah, nice, good stuff. And then Diogo, got you. Oh, do that.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This
Mhm.
something that people has asked me to make it easy not to have to type stuff. Like I ask sometimes the description of what they're planting, what the name of the plants they have, and they have like 20, 30. And if they go trying to write, some of them don't know how to write. Like some indigenous groups ask me to, oh, cannot be audio. And if we can make it, it's a lot easier to work with audio than with text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never thought about that. That's okay.
Yeah, someone told me that you will get a lot more reach if you accept audio.
Yeah, you just tell your
Yeah.
story. Yeah, like that, and with AI now, yeah, that could, yeah.
Something to think about.
Mhm. I think that's a very powerful one. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, Portuguese, we do have Portuguese support, so that's great, and we'll continue to improve that. And yeah, you can help with that, and yeah, that you can get your, okay, this is the wrong phrase here or something with what we currently have. So that's good. Also, Spanish support for
Yeah,
wasabi.
and it's nice to have this path forward. That I'm 10% in. I can reach 100% if I do that, and what I get if I get 100%, then I level up, something like that. This,
Mhm.
yeah, this is nice too.
Don't worry, Corey, it's recorded, so and we got notes, so you can definitely watch it back. And then definitely add to the board. And I think this is gonna be the first of the first of a few calls. I think Wasabi was mentioning doing events together. I think we could continue to workshop things, check in, maybe like a monthly cadence or something. So yeah, cool. Yeah, Diogo, great stuff. Cool. And then okay, that was Marcin. All right, so we're near the end. Now got a couple action items. Okay, well, let me see this for us. So there's two things here. One is the garden onboarding form, which I think everybody, on this call has done. I think so. No need to worry about that. But this has been very insightful, and I think, yeah, there's a lot of context around like task management, things of that nature. So definitely continue use that as a source. This is the main one I want to share with you guys today, which is if I could, how do I share it? About the sign in. This is trying to get a link to this thing. Oh, okay. Let me get a link to this and I'll share this in the chat. So this is a sheet that if everybody has a tab for their garden, and if you have multiple gardens, so this is something we could discuss right now, how we could approach this. So currently I've outlined the Yoga Agroforest job, Greenpill Brazil, the Dominican Republic, like could say coconut if you want, or but I think the thing here is that from what I've seen in the survey, people have multiple gardens. So how it works in Green Good is like, you have a garden, then you have gardeners for it. You could approach it. I think ideally, it's better to like separate the gardens because they're different locations, and I think it's key to get that. Over time, it'd be kind of hard if we just bundle a bunch of locations under one garden. So I could duplicate some of these. But first, Diogo, how many gardens or farms or spaces are you taking care of?
How many farms?
Yeah. So, yeah. Or how many would you want to do with green goods? Like, how many locations do you have? Yeah, I think that's the question.
Oh, I could do two. There's Redemption Hill, and there is Saracura Farm.
Okay. So I'm going to duplicate. What was the name for the first one?
Redemption Hill.
How do I spell it?
Redemption
Oh, Redemption. Okay.
Hill. Yeah, and Saracura Farm.
Kura?
Yeah.
You could add it, but okay. So you could do 2 farms here. Then Wasabi. I think you have 3 locations, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And how would you like to do? How would you like to kind of what banner? What? Um,
Yeah, we have branding for, we have a specific branding for each location. So yeah, I can.
okay. Let me create. I'm going to do 3 Greenpill DR, and then you could rename them as
Okay.
fit.
Cool.
And then Anastasia left. So reach out to her.
And then we have 3 gardens, but I need to confirm with all of them
Okay.
that they're willing to do all this. I need to present more stuff to 2 of them, but one of them's on board.
Okay. Nice. So I'll put you down for one right now, Kyle. Yeah, Wasabi.
Yeah, but if you want, you can set up to 1 right now because that's where we're gonna be trying out.
Okay.
We have the personnel there in place. We have everything ready.
Nice.
So,
Okay. We just start off with 1. That makes sense. Okay. What do you want to name it? Wasabi. What do you want to name your garden?
Another thing, let me drop the English.
Okay. Thank you. And then I'll add. I'll copy the template one.
You could call it ATX permaculture or something.
Say what?
ATX permaculture for now. Something like that.
Okay. And then Wasabi. Oh, Delphi. Okay. I've seen this before.
And then where can I find some material to present to people on the Chromeverse? Or do we have
It's
anything like that?
it's still. I'll get back to you on that because it's still being put together like in a cohesive manner.
Also, we can jump on a call and go over stuff so I can just understand how to pitch it better myself.
Hey, I'm happy to join that call.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great, Marcin. Yeah, and oh yeah, Marcin, and yeah, let's definitely sync as well to discuss like next steps and stuff. Cool. I got a Delphi. You want to call it Delphi anything? Or Delphi like Greenpill, DR, the Coconut Network, or just a Delphi?
That's the name of the farm, but
Okay.
you
No, that's cool. That works. Let's see. All right, I think anybody else? Yeah, Anastasia left, so we'll get in touch with her later. All right, let's go back to Miro. Oh, I guess at the end of the presentation. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, yeah, want to close. That's our last closing item. So definitely make sure to save that link. You guys all should have access to your emails and start adding your gardeners. And then probably towards the end of this week or once you're ready, let me know. And I will run the script to create your gardeners. We're going to be deploying to Cello this week. Currently, we're deployed on Arbitrum. But if you log in the app, it's a lot of test data, a lot of things of that nature. So we're going to deploy it over to Cello this week. And then, yeah, run the script and deploy your garden and your gardeners in Cello. And then, yeah, then we have our product sync on Tuesday. Oh, not Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you're free or available during that time, definitely join because we'll talk green goods. We'll definitely look at the insights from this call and use it to kind of guide our sprint going forward in our product planning. So feel free to join that if you want to chime in further. And those are every week at that time, so it's something that you can just put on your calendar and join if you have some time. And yeah, I think definitely we'll be in touch around next steps as to I think everybody's gonna be different potentially when they kick off things, especially depending on the type of work people are doing. So, not everybody needs to start at the same time. There's no rush. This is a multi-month, multiple quarter pilot. So definitely want to make sure we do it right and not rush anybody. And yeah, and let's go ahead and read the Green Goods article if you haven't already. It's a that outlines that part of the stack. The whole series, I think, is pretty, insightful into the dev build. So if you have, curiosity beyond the stack, feel free to dive in. The last article we just did is probably the most powerful one, where you can see all the infographics and kind of the whole stack in its glory. So I'll drop that one as well. But yeah, thank you guys for joining this call. Really, really appreciate it. And man, yeah, Diogo with the audio suggestion, like that, and so yeah, I already am really optimistic and excited to build these things. And with AI tools, man, it's getting so easy. And like it's ridiculous. Like so, we can start adding features. It'll just be like, yeah, Diogo, you just like we'll type it up next time as a sticky note. We'll just send it to the AI, and then it'll be cooked up in like a day or two. So that's the future we're heading towards. So.
Well, also the cool thing is that people who have ChatGPT Plus, they can get in on the fun. They don't have to open up Cursor or any other vibe coding AI tools to code. They can just connect to GitHub with Codex within ChatGPT Plus and look at the code base or make issues and go over stuff. So it's pretty cool.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see some of you guys on the network sync. Feel free. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Apple.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.